Who will win the services for new backup big Jonas Valanciunas? The Denver Nuggets or the Greek basketball powerhouse Panathinaikos Basketball Club? Should Denver play hardball with their newly acquired center? And did the Colorado Avalanche satisfy a need already in this early upcoming offseason? All things to come on today's rundown, where we are live from Ravenna Golf Club for the 10th anniversary of Bruton's Books, one of the more notable and fabulous charitable events and organizations headed up by former Denver Bronco David Bruton. We are so proud at DenverSports 104.3 The Fan to partner with David Bruton and Bruton's Books for this long-standing tradition where he brings together so many great causes, all in the name of providing laptops, iPads, books, etc., learning materials for children in need here in the Colorado area. So excited to be out here at this beautiful golf club, live to you from the clubhouse, and excited to maybe head out on the links a little bit later after this. But in the meantime, we will begin today's show in the world of the NBA, where the Denver Nuggets are making national and global headlines after their acquisition of Jonas Valanciunas, the veteran NBA center from the Sacramento Kings, shipping out Dario Saric and his terrible contract in the process. But are we 100% certain that Jonas Valanciunas is going to be rocking a Denver Nuggets uniform in the 2025 season? Because there is another team that is interested in the services of the veteran big man, and that is Greek basketball powerhouse Panathinaikos Basketball Club in Greece, where Jonas Valanciunas has expressed an interest in playing abroad and being closer to his home country of Lithuania. And the Greek basketball club has certainly been interested in vying for the veteran services, but he is under this pesky little thing called a contract, which the Denver Nuggets inherited from the Sacramento Kings, that keeps him under contract for the next couple of seasons at a little over $10 million a year, I might add. So not exactly chump change, even by NBA terms, for a backup five role. And while Jonas Valanciunas and the Greek basketball club have both expressed interest in him playing overseas, and there appears to be a mutual connection there, the Denver Nuggets, in no uncertain terms, have said, hey, thanks for the gumball, but sorry, because we intend to use you. Per Shams Charania, ESPN insider for the NBA, quote, Denver has informed Jonas Valanciunas' reps that the franchise fully intends to have him honor his contract, as the Nuggets view Valanciunas as a critical center addition to back up Nikola Jokic and play alongside him. Greek team Panathinaikos pursued Valanciunas in recent days, and Panathinaikos has remained in pursuit of Valanciunas, who is making an appearance overseas. But there are new reports coming out from Mark Stein and others around the league that Jonas Valanciunas is, at least for the moment, open to committing and maintaining his commitment to the Denver Nuggets, who acquired his contract via the Sacramento Kings. Nothing is set in stone yet. I guess we won't officially know where things stand until both sides have made a firm, definitive decision and the ball gets rolling on the 2025 season. But I will say this. This new Denver Nuggets front office, headed up by co-executive vice presidents Ben Tenzer and Jonathan Wallace, are making a statement here that I, for one, fully respect and appreciate. They are saying, in this new era of Nuggets basketball, where we've seen a core four player in Michael Porter Jr. shipped away, and the winningest head coach in franchise history in Michael Malone dismissed, Calvin Booth, the prior general manager, dismissed and replaced with two new heads of state. Those two gentlemen, Ben Tenzer and Jonathan Wallace, are saying, we are not playing around. We have the best basketball player on the planet on our roster, and it's the core and the nucleus of our team. And every year that he remains in a Nuggets uniform and is playing at the top of his peak level as the best basketball player in the world is so important that we are not going to let agent relationships or potentially overseas interest and player wishes and demands get in the way of what our ultimate goal is, which is to bring another Larry O'Brien trophy and an NBA championship to the city of Denver. And make no mistake, the Jonas Valanciunas trade, beside being a salary dump for Dario Saric, which was a terrible contract handed out by the previous administration, is going to, in theory, play a pretty significant role in this 2025 Denver Nuggets squad as they continue to try to progress and cure some of the ailments that have held them from getting past the second round since winning the title. It doesn't have the sizzle, maybe, of the Cam Johnson trade where you ship out a core four member in Michael Porter Jr. and you get out of that $38 million and then bring in a shooter of comparable three-point shooting ability and someone who can maybe have a little bit more to the table that they bring in terms of ball handling, defensive ability, etc. But it does satisfy the question of when are they going to find a backup big, a serviceable big man to spell Nikola Jokic off the bench to provide crucial rest minutes both in the regular season and eventually when we get to the postseason where we know Nikola Jokic shoulders a burden that is so high that over a 5, 6, 7 game series across multiple rounds, it just begins to wear and tear on the body in a way that is a detriment to Denver thus far. So it's a very valuable question that remains unanswered. And Jonas Valanciunas is probably, on paper and probably in practice, the best answer that the Denver Nuggets have had to that question since maybe Mason Plumlee, who wasn't necessarily a perfect answer in and of himself. They have not been able to find it. Dario Saric was supposed to be that and then finds himself in a situation where he can barely avoid being a healthy scratch. That will not be the case with Valanciunas. I think Ben Tenzer and Jonathan Wallace made that clear, and I am thrilled with the firm-handed nature that they are approaching this offseason after such an aggressive start with the flurry of moves that they made to be able to stand their ground, hold firm, and say, no. All due respect to Panathinaikos, to Jonas Valanciunas, and maybe a player who wants to move closer to his home country and play overseas. We've got a mission here. You're under contract with us, and we fully intend to use you. This train is leaving, so get on board. I love it, and I cannot wait to see where this unfolds over the course of the remainder of the summer. In the NHL, the Denver Nuggets also have an offseason that's underway, and I think that in a sneaky, underrated, kind of under-the-radar way, they answered a question that has a lot of upside but has been plaguing them for the last handful of seasons, and that is, can they find reliable help on the blue line? Can they bolster their depth on the defensive end of the ice in front of Mackenzie Blackwood? And that wasn't really something that was addressed in a major way with the Mikko Rantanen trade, slicing off Mikko Rantanen, another core member of a Denver sports team here. That allowed them to spread some quality scoring depth throughout their forward and center groups on the offensive side of the ice with Brock Nelson and Charlie Coyle and Marty Necas and Jack Drury. It did allow them to acquire Ryan Lindgren, who has since gone away. And that left a little bit of a hole, despite the bolstering on the offensive side in their forward and center groupings. It left a little bit of questionable depth in their blue line help behind arguably one of the best defensive pairings, top pairings in the NHL in Cale Makar and Devon Toews. So in comes this man, Brent Burns, who is a long-in-the-tooth veteran of the NHL at the age of 40, playing for the Minnesota Wild, a significant length of time for the San Jose Sharks, and most recently, the Carolina Hurricanes, where he spent the last 3 seasons. Brent Burns is a former Norris Trophy winner in the mid-2010s and is a bit of an Iron Man by NHL standards, playing in a massive, whopping, almost unthinkable 925 consecutive hockey games. Even by NHL terms, that is a level of toughness and durability and endurance that is something to marvel at. And I think he brings size, physicality, on top of that veteran presence and leadership and durability to the blue line for the Avs, where he will probably slot in on the third line alongside Sam Malinsky, which makes the defensive depth line pairings on the blue line for the Avalanche look a little bit like this. Your top line is going to have Cale Makar and Devon Toews. Then you'll have Sammy G, Sam Girard, and Josh Manson, assuming no other offseasons or moves are made between now and the start of the season. And then your third line will be Malinsky and Brent Burns. So for the Avalanche, it's not a perfect answer, because if it was, it would probably cost a little bit more than 1 year, $1 million. But for a team that doesn't have a ton of room to work with, even after the salary dump of Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood heading to Columbus, doesn't have a ton of blockbuster money to work with, I think this is a low-risk, high-reward move that the Avalanche can take advantage of. If Brent Burns can provide size, physicality, and endurance to bolster the depth on that blue line for the Avalanche, combined with the moves that they've already made post Mikko Rantanen to help their scoring depth and their forward and center groupings, this could be a sneaky move that comes very much in handy late in the season and into the postseason for the Avalanche, where we saw that depth tested by a pretty formidable Dallas Stars front, unfortunately featuring Mikko Rantanen. I don't know that the Avs offseason is necessarily done yet. I don't think you clear up all that cap space and you ship Charlie Coyle and his $5.25 million and Miles Wood with his $2.5 million AAV out of town just to bring back Parker Kelly at 1.7 and sign Brent Burns for 1 year, $1 million. So one of the focal points of tomorrow's shows and the theme of this week will be what else do the Avs potentially have up their sleeve. But for the meantime, this move right here, bringing in Brent Burns on 1 year, $1 million to be your third defensive pairing, presumably, is a move that I very much like. And I think I appreciate the upside and something that could make us look back on Chris McFarland and say, you know what? Nicely done there, sir, which is something that we haven't necessarily said, at least factions of the fan base, post-Mikko Rantanen trade. We will see where it shakes out. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I am live again from this beautiful Ravenna Golf Club for the 10th anniversary of Bruton's Books, where the charity tournament is ongoing right now. So many great charities, organizations, and the like involved in the efforts put together by former Denver Bronco David Bruton, who has been doing for 10 years now something that is sorely needed and missed in our community, which is providing youth with proper educational tools, from books to iPads and resources alike, to help them further their education and help educate the next generation. We at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan are so honored to be a part of it, and I cannot wait to see what comes next. Thank you all for joining me. We'll catch you tomorrow at noon. I do what I love what I do. Second nature to put in the work.